At our last Grand National cross-country race, Yamaha's defending champion Paul Whibley got out front early, but was quickly overwhelmed by the KTM duo of Caleb Russell and Charlie Mullins. Mullins pulled through for the win with Russell behind. Is the series shaping up as a two-rider duel? Find out next. Welcome to Racer TV's coverage of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series. Morning race underway right now amidst the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC. Good times as always in the amateur ranks, and it's going to get darn serious when our pro riders go out there for 3 hours this afternoon. All eyes on this FMF KTM factory duo, Charlie Mullins and that man Caleb Russell, have won all the races this year. They're 1-2 in points. The real question is, can anyone run with them? You'll see how potent they are with the highlights of our previous race, the FMF Steel Creek GNCC. I'm the number 1 defending series champ Paul Whibley out front of the AmPro Yamaha, but here's Caleb Russell making the move on him, take over the lead. Then Mullins would get around Russell, and those two would pull away from everyone else. Mullins ultimately here putting the hammer down and pulling away for the victory. Whibley is struggling with a hand injury at the moment, so who's left who can challenge the KTM duo who have been taking the majority of the podium spots? Well, maybe this man, Josh Strang. 2010 GNCC champ was trying to make a bid to run down the KTM riders at North Carolina until this crash. Let's check in with Josh.
Yeah, the first 3 rounds, the first 2 rounds went really well for me. Florida went maybe a little better than expected. I wanted to get on the podium, but I really wasn't sure where I stood coming into the first round. And then Georgia went pretty decent. Finished at 4th there, and had a few things to work on in that we had 3 weeks off in between Georgia and North Carolina. So yeah, had a few things to work on, and I felt like I worked on those things, and I felt good. And the start of the race in North Carolina, I was feeling good, and then unfortunately just crashed with a lapper and kind of ended my race there at the 3rd round. So hopefully we can get a good result here today. I haven't been able to ride, but I feel good and the track's good, so I guess we'll just see how it goes.
Strang riding for the Rocky Mountain ATV MC AMSOIL Maxxis Kawasaki team. We'll see if he can just soldier on. There he is, score some points today. Obviously the 5.57 Caleb Russell feeling good, so is his teammate Charlie Mullins. They'll be the contenders. And don't forget Chris Bach here, the number 10, 3rd place at our last event. The privateer really making some gains this season. He could make a run for a victory today if all the cards fall into place. We're going to find out here. The VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC about to get underway. I'm Jason Wygant, giving it the race call. Let's go GNCC Racing. Injury or not, doesn't matter. Paul Whibley has another all balls whole shot award. Scores himself $250. Literally hanging on, though, will be the problem with a hand wrist injury. We'll see what the tough man out of New Zealand can do. And already Caleb Russell to the number 1 spot. That didn't take long at all. Mullins, Strang, Rory Mead coming through next. Here's the rest of the field. Pretty happy with the course conditions here today in South Carolina. They said the dirt is almost perfect. And Russell taking advantage, able to pin it through the early sections and get around Whibley. There's Whibley in 2nd. And Mullins up to 3rd. Go back to the starting line for the XC2 division. This is 250cc bikes instead of the 450s. Battling for the whole shot. Looks like Grant Baylor on the 16. And he's got the digitaloffroad.com whole shot award in XC2. This class has been fun to watch. You got defending champion Jason Thomas, points leader Angela Long. They've been battling all year with Baylor, throwing Aaron Plessinger, young kid who won the previous event in this division, and they will run not only battling for the class win, but they could contend for the overall today as well in adjusted time. Although the way Russell is going early as we switch back to XC1, that's not going to happen. He is absolutely flying. Mullins has got around Whibley up to 2nd, and Wibbs is trying to hang on as long as he can. Looks like Mullins is up the pace here in 2nd to try to go after Russell. Russell, who is just on the gas. Whibley settling into third, just trying to be consistent and score points, riding with an injury. A nice little gap built up over Strang, who is riding hurt as well. It's amazing how quickly things can change in this game. It was so deep, the competition as the year began. Russell and Mullins really established themselves early. Everyone else has struggled here and there. And that's them opening up a sizable advantage early in this one already. Strang, though, looks pretty good considering he's not been able to ride the last couple of weeks with the knee injury. Put that thing on the podium today, he will be happy. These guys are on the move. Old school GNCC, you would normally see people hanging back in the early laps, trying to figure the course out. But I don't think that these guys have to worry about that anymore. I think Russell and Mullins right now have the confidence that they are faster than everyone else. They should be running 1-2 at all times. And if they're not there, they will pit to get there. They're not waiting around. They're not messing around. Basically, they are feeding off of each other, everyone else in their wake. And you've got the likes of Whibley, two-time GNCC champ, and Strang, who's won this title before. As mentioned previous, they are the riders back there. Next in the order is Thad Duvall, the 989, Shenandoah Honda. He's in fifth. Bad Thad not known for his starts. Neither is Russell, but he wasted no time getting the lead today. And that has forced Mullins to up the pace early here toward the end of lap number 1. And we might just be in for another two-rider showdown. I know it's early in what could be a 5, 6, 7 lap race, depending on the lap times. They basically race for 3 hours, fit as many laps as they can. You see Duvall has moved up to 4th. I know I might be speaking early to say that the two KTM riders are settling in privately, but the evidence is there. Here is your XC2 class. It is big man Andrew DeLong in the lead on the Fred Andrews Racing Husqvarna. Chet Haynes on the Yamaha into second. So things are shaking up quickly. Here's your early leader, Grant Baylor. Baylor is 15 years old. He has proved a quick study in GNCC racing. He, like Mullins, like Russell, like a lot of these riders, came through the ranks racing 65s, 85s, big wheels, and through the amateur division. And now they are professionals, so they know the GNCC game well. Thad Duvall also followed a similar path. He is up to 4th. And here is Bach now up to 5th. Strang losing ground. Stay with us.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. AMSOIL, the first in synthetics.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Back here at the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC on Racer TV, Caleb Russell with the lead. Charlie Mullins, his teammate, finding some new lines back there, the number 2 spot, keeping him within sight. And that's really the key. As long as they can see each other, they can race each other. Thad Duvall, meanwhile, in 3rd. He has to hustle. He's got to try to get those guys to where even the bigger sections, he can see them. See Paul Whibley still hanging in there. He can see Duvall in some of the sections that are a little bit more spread out. Now into the high-speed open stuff. A little bit dusky out here. I'm saying that the conditions in the woods are great. Obviously in these fields, as you see Duvall scrubbing a bit over some of the bumps. Fields are a little bit duskier. It's hard to keep the guy in sight through there. Wow, this is not fast forward, by the way. These guys nearly tangle with the trees. They are just on it. And that's why they have a nice lead, although Duvall's giving it a run. Here's the advantage as he tries to keep the fleeing KTM teammates in sight. He has pulled some distance on Whibley. You don't see Whibley back there pressing him any longer. Now into the Pine section. This is single track, just wide enough to fit the handlebars. You don't often see that in GNCC. Nice job by Duvall to tuck his way through there. I think he was faster than the leaders. Duvall and Mullins race the AMA Enduro Series, so they might have the advantage through here. Mullins now camped out on the back fender of Russell, waiting for a mistake. Oh, and Russell makes it, bumps that tree. The tight section definitely paid off for Mullins, who is now right behind, and Duvall's on their heels. He is hustling. Got some fans down there in the woods, pumped for Bad Thad. Just able to avert a disaster. Almost tangled the tree. Now, Russell's got to be feeling better to be in the open stuff. Goes past the pits. What did he throw off? I don't know if that was a helmet cam or what. Here comes Duvall. Still just out of the picture, doing everything he can on that Honda 450 to get them in his sights. Like I said, that's all the difference. You can get within about 10 or 15 seconds. You see them down the long stretches, and then you get that extra push, that extra motivation. Russell's trying to run and hide from Mullins. Duvall's trying to catch Mullins. Do the same thing the second place rider is doing to the leader. And they have put some distance between themselves and everyone else. It's a three-rider shootout here at the Big Buck.
He's got it.
Whibley with a lot of fans down here. He might be a New Zealander, but the Ampro Yamaha team based not too far from this facility in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Of course, the home of Randy Hawkins, a multi-time Enduro champion who owns and operates that factory racing team. As we see, back into the open stuff, 5.57 of Russell on that KTM 350. It's a 450 for his teammate, Mullins. Mullins looks very relaxed and content back in the number 2 position. Sometimes it's easier to follow than to lead. We'll see whose strategy pays off. We'll be right back.
Sometimes you come across something so different, you just have to stop and check it out. The Rocky Mountain ATV MC website has everything you need, from our huge selection of apparel and gear to dirt bike accessories and OEM parts. Our extensive inventory means most orders arrive in 3 days or less. Get low prices, quick shipping, and incredible customer service. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Racer TV is brought to you by Amsoil, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Give you the upcoming schedule here. Go to GNCCRacing.com for more. We'll be racing the legendary Snowshoe GNCC, brought to you by Amsoil at the end of the month. Then summer break, come back for Unadilla, and all new rounds at Gusher in Pennsylvania, and the traditional season closers, Powerline Park and the Ironman. Back to your battle here at Big Buck. Caleb Russell, 5.57, and the 112 Charlie Mullins now into lap traffic, and now into third, Thad Duvall. So Duvall on a rail. Duvall also came into this race smarting from a big crash in our last race at Steel Creek. So if you're keeping track, Duvall, Strang, and Whibley all have injuries coming into this one. They are in a battle for survival. Meanwhile, Russell and Mullins are firing on all cylinders. But that's not stopping Thad from making a run here. Fastest rider on the track right now. He's moved from 5th to 4th to 3rd and has closed up just a bit on the lead duo. Now it's time for pit stops. And both of the FMF KTM riders stopping together. And we'll be waiting on Duvall. This could be his opportunity. If he can go without a pit stop here, he might be able to get these guys in sight. Oh, he's just going to miss it there. Out he is in, and he is going to pull in for fuel. It's one of those situations. They can tell him how close he is, but he'll really never know. It's so much easier when you can see the riders in front of you. But obviously, if he were to push another lap and run out of fuel, that would be a complete disaster. So he's got to just keep it pinned, trying to catch him on speed, not strategy. Not going to be easy. And I'm just pumped for Duvall. Didn't even finish that last race, and they thought he had big injuries. Here he is. And if he even finishes third today, scores solid points, that will really minimize the damage from that crash. And now we see Bach all over Whibley in a battle for fourth. Bach really turning it up this season. Comfortable on the KTM. Back to our leaders. It is Mullins now. Unless we missed Russell come through as we enter the Pine Forest. And no, there is Russell in number 2 spot, so we didn't miss him. There has been a change in the leadership in this tight single track. There's Duvall coming through in 3rd. This single track has to feel good for Mullins, who is also leading the points in the AMA Enduro Championship. He's up to his game in the tight stuff, as we see Bach and Whibley still battling for the number 4 position. Then it is Strang coming through next. Turns out Strang actually had a stick get under his goggles and go in nearly into his eye. He's okay, but he lost time pulling it out. As for Andrew DeLong, watch this. He was chasing Strang a few miles ago, and he goes down in a heap. Bike tumbles over him. He lucked out. He could have easily been hit by the machine. Didn't really do too much damage to the bike either, except he did lose his rear fender and knock his helmet visor askew, as you can see. But he's still on the heels of Strang. That's really a position that doesn't matter as far as position in their class, but he's just trying to move forward. And look at this. Russell has retaken the lead from Mullins, so he responds to the challenge. And now they have upped their pace. I think they put a little distance again between themselves and Bad Thad. Now you have Whibley and Box still battling to pop over that big hole right there. And Mullins into the lead for the 2nd time. So 3 lead changes in the course of a half a lap between the teammates. Big climb here. Not challenging today, though. This dirt is so good here in South Carolina. Russell has to hustle. Can't let Mullins get away. You got to be able to see the guy. Like we said, it's so much easier to ride that way, and Mullins knows it. He's going to try to turn it up here as the white flag is coming out. And he has just enough of a gap to where Russell can't see his lines, can't figure out what Mullins is doing right. Is the hot ride headed for 2 straight victories? Stay tuned.
What do you call a machine that combines precision-engineered handling, industry-leading power, and a rider-focused design? We call it a Can-Am. From the essentials to fully loaded, you'll find that same combination in every ATV and side-by-side we build. And right now, get your own for as low as $149 a month. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Stretch run here at the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC. There is Charlie Mullins rolling on this final lap, 2.5 hours into it, and he's turning faster laps than ever because he needs to run and hide from his teammate, Caleb Russell. They have a big lead over everyone else. Here is Russell in 2nd. Led the first 2/3 of this thing. Mullins got him. Russell got him back. Once Mullins got the lead for the 2nd time, though, he has put the hammer down. And a great best of the rest ride for Thad Duvall. A lot of riders coming into this thing nursing injuries, and Duvall might come out on top of all the riders in that category. They'll be back to fight for wins on another day, we hope. Mullins finding a nice line through the trees there. Although Russell getting it back in sight. One last-ditch effort to see feet off the pegs, really letting it fly. Even through the slow stuff, trying to make a race out of it. Duvall still 3rd, so he takes a long way around. Man, this track is beat up late in the day. Then we see Bach coming through next. Wow, that is persistence paying off. Spent 2 or 3 laps behind Whibley, finally able to bust the door down and get to 4th. There's Mullins clearing some lap traffic. You have amateur riders out here in the A and B classes. You get down to this last hour, and the riders who are able to train and ride full-time like Mullins and Russell, that's where their strength comes to the forefront. The amateur guys, 3 hours is a long way for them. So lappers could be a factor. That's what Russell is hoping. Maybe one of them will slow Mullins up, but the 2011 GNCC champ just looks so strong. Russell's still on the gas, still trying to get him. And it is a war of wills. The points differential will not be gigantic between 1st and 2nd, but it is major confidence if Mullins can string together 2 in a row. Duval and Bach still hold 3rd and 4th. Bach proving that podium last time out, no fluke. Running solid today in that number 4 position. Down into the mud hole we go for the last time. Mullins to the top of the hill. Russell is still digging, trying to make a race of it. And look at the balance and skill. A near vertical hill climb, and Russell is spinning tires while standing up on the bike, going across the top. Duval stalls it down in the mud hole. Got to get the momentum back. Chooses the left side. Bach is not that far back. He's going to make a last-ditch run for the podium. Meanwhile, time is running out for Russell. If he wants to get Mullins, he's into the final stretch. And there's no doubt that strength down the stretch has been an asset for the 112. A couple of times he's been able to keep his composure down the stretch, past his teammate, and this will be 3 wins in the first 4 races of the year. The best start ever for Mullins in a championship tour. And the Hot Rod is your winner here at the Big Buck. Russell put together a good ride. His teammate just a little bit better. He did a lot of laps today, though. And the 2nd place obviously going to keep the 112 honest in the point standings with 4 of 13 races complete. Now for that battle for the podium, Duval's got to step on it, trying to get back away from the charging number 10 of Bach. And it looks like he's going to do it and put the Shenandoah Honda into 3rd overall. Nice ride for Bad Thad. Here are your AMSOIL results. Bach and Whibley 4th, 5th. Strang wanted the salvage points. He does it with 6th. Russell, Koikita, Ashburn, and Adam Benur round out your top 10. Points are still darn close between the teammates as we show you them here. 10-point lead for Mullins over Russell. 5-point differential each week between 1st and 2nd. Those 2 consecutive victories for Mullins. That is the line in the sand there. Let's talk to our race winner.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough last lap. I was able to get around him with a lap and a half to go, and we really picked up the pace, and he kept me honest the whole last lap. I didn't have much breathing room, so for as hard as I rode and not made any mistakes, I was pretty happy with the last lap and able to bring it in for the win. So, it was a good race. Caleb was riding well, and luckily I was able to get around him and kind of open up a little bit of a gap and just kind of bring it on in.
And here's the showdown in the XC2 division. DeLong wins again. That's 3 and 4 rounds for him. Baylor and Plessinger down to the wire for 2nd and 3rd. Tough day for Jason Thomas, the champ. He's 6th, but he will be back. Give you the AMSOIL race recap. Another hole shot for Paul Whibley. But right now, the speed of the KTM teammates, no one can hold them back. Within the first mile or 2, they were already 1 and 2 on the track. And the chase was on. They distanced themselves from everyone else. Russell led the first 5 laps of what would turn out to be a 7-lap race. Mullins got around him. Russell got him back. Mullins got him back again. At a 12-second lead heading into the final lap, put the hammer down, was able to hold on for the victory. Thanks for watching Racer TV. We'll see you next week.